Before we start putting ductwork in, I'd like to at least go over some of the features of the BIM component that we placed in the rooftop unit. And if I select this, you'll be able to see, well, actually you're not seeing that. There we go. I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see that we have a create duct, a chance to join up ductwork with other ductwork that we'll put in. It's an out, means it's supply. It also has an in. There's a couple of other features that are going on here that I think are important to point out. These V-shaped things are called the air coils. So this is where the heat is getting rejected. These little circles on the top are for where fans are. Down here, these are probably locations for compressors. And the idea, in order to increase tonnage, there would be more of these compressors in the system. We have these hoods over here on the sides, and therefore bringing in two kinds of air. One is makeup air, additional air to bring into the building, fresh air. And then the other one might be used during unique or positive weather events where the inside of the building is warmer, its outside is colder, and we want to bring in fresh air that's nice and cool and in large quantities actually to change the interior temperature. And that's called an economizer. So these are just vent hoods for various functions. I'm going to zoom back just a little bit and adjust the section cut here so that we can see it cut through. If I can get it adjusted, there we go. So I'll come in here now, and what you can see is these black areas down here before we get up to the brown are the curb. And then we have this large curb over here, which is where the air return comes in. And this one is the supply going out to the facility. You'll notice there's nothing underneath this one, and there's an area for air to be brought in underneath. It cools the compressors and then blows up through the system, through the A coils to reject all the heat up through the top. And what you can't see in here are the actual A coil for cooling, a blower, and the heating equipment. But that's not necessary. It's just this already gives you a wonderful indication of what's going on in the assembly. So with that said, now let's take a look at inserting a piece of pipe, HVAC pipe, and then we can do some evaluations on how that relates to our structure. So I'm going to go to System, and I'm going to grab some ductwork. And you may have to load this in. I'm going to go to the default ductwork. If you have to, you can go to Insert, Load a Family, and go out to ductwork. I think all of the ductwork is already included, but we will have to go out and grab some elbows in that. Well, we're not going to do that right away. So we have our default round duct selected. Right now I'm thinking about locating it so it doesn't hit the beams. So we want to pick some kind of a relationship to our elements. So we can go top of steel. And we know that we want to be really 1 foot below the top of steel because that's the depth of our steel element. So I'm going to go top elevation 0, and we'll just draw in a piece of ductwork. And then I will set our view to fine so we can see that it has a depth to it. And you'll notice that the one I set for 12 inches, and you can adjust that diameter. Now let's go ahead and take a look through the section. I may not have made a section yet, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll pick a section through where the heating and cooling unit is, or where I think it is, if I remember correctly. Actually, I'm 1 bay back, so we'll adjust that. And let's take a look at that section. Okay, once again, I'll set this to fine so we get good detail of all our elements. Because when it was set like this, what we were actually just seeing was the center line of that beam. And now setting it to fine, you can see we're right at the level, and actually it looks like we're actually intersecting it. But that's close enough for top of steel must mean right some discrepancy there. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Okay, so now that we've set our main pipe here, we can start to look at putting our diffusers in, and we'll do that in the next clip.